Hey there. Ready for a deep dive into some seriously fascinating territory?
Ooh, I love a good deep dive.
Today, we're going to be tackling UFOs,
UFOs, classic.
or as the government prefers to call them, UAPs, an identified anomalous phenomena.
Ah, yes. Much more official sounding.
Right.
Right.
And get this, our source material comes straight from a recent U.S. congressional hearing on the subject.
No way. Straight from the source.
Yeah, eyewitness accounts from some pretty high-ranking officials, whispers of secret programs, even some NASA intrigue thrown in there.
Okay, you've got my attention. Let's do this.
All right, so first, let's set the scene. This hearing, which was held on November 13th, 2023, had a totally different vibe than past hearings on this topic.
hmm
I mean, would you agree that there was like this palpable sense of urgency?
Oh, absolutely. It was a far cry from the days of government dismissals and ridicule, that's for sure.
Right.
It felt like a real turning point,
Yeah.
Like they were finally acknowledging that something significant is happening.
And it wasn't just one side of the aisle either.
Exactly.
Both Democrats and Republicans seemed genuinely concerned about UAPs and the lack of transparency surrounding them.
Yeah. It was remarkable to see that bipartisan concern.
It really was.
For decades, the government's approach to UFOs was basically to, pretend they didn't exist, right?
Right.
But this hearing, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, they're finally ready to take this seriously.
Like really investigate what these things are and what they mean.
Right.
Not just for like national security, but potentially, our understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about potentially rewriting textbooks here.
Okay, so let's get into some of the specifics from this hearing. One of the most compelling testimonies came from Rear Admiral Tim Gallant,
Oh, wow. Rear Admiral Gallant?
a retired Navy admiral and former head of NOAA.
Talk about a credible witness.
I know, right? And his testimony really gets to the heart of the potential dangers associated with UAPs.
Hmm.
He recounts an incident from 2015 during a naval exercise where they observed an unidentified object exhibiting flight capabilities beyond anything in the U.S. arsenal.
Whoa.
This wasn't just like a blip on a radar screen.
Right.
This was a real-world
A
encounter
real physical thing.
that posed a serious safety risk to military personnel.
And it just makes you wonder if these objects can outmaneuver our most advanced aircraft. I mean, what else are they capable of?
It's a chilling thought for sure. And speaking of chilling, what happened to the email containing the Go Fast video of the incident?
Yeah, what did happen to
It
that?
just vanished, like into thin air. It's almost like something out of a spy thriller.
It's very mysterious, very curious. Makes you wonder.
Okay, so we've got one compelling account, but wait, there's more. Louis Elizondo, a former Department of Defense official who actually managed a special access program on UAPs, also testified.
Oh, wow. A whole program dedicated to UAPs. Okay, so what did he have to say?
Well, let me tell you, he dropped some serious bombshells.
All right, lay it on me.
He stated, and this is a quote, that he's seen classified evidence of technologies that defy our current understanding of physics. And get this, he said these technologies are not of human origin.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
I know.
He's basically saying that we may not be alone in the universe and that there are civilizations out there with capabilities beyond anything we can even imagine.
Now, that's a statement that could really shake things up. I mean, if true, that's huge.
QGE is an understatement.
So what else did Elizondo say?
He even went so far as to suggest that we're in the midst of a secretive arms race, with UAPs being monitored at sensitive military installations around the globe.
I mean, you can almost picture it, can't you? Like this covert war happening right under our noses, but with technology we can't even comprehend.
It's definitely a lot to process.
And the fact that this is coming from someone like Elizondo, someone with his background and experience, just adds so much weight to his claims. He's not some, random guy on the internet. This was his job.
It was literally his job to investigate this stuff.
It makes it really hard to dismiss his testimony.
Yeah. And it really makes you think.
It does.
If the government has known about these advanced technologies for so long, why haven't they been more transparent with the public? I mean, what's the real story here?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
What are they so afraid of us knowing?
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any more intriguing, we have investigative journalist Michael Schellenberger, who broke the story of a secret program called Immaculate Constellation.
Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, he claims to have received information from a government whistleblower about this program.
A whistleblower.
Yep.
Wow, this is getting good.
And the whistleblower alleges that this program is dedicated to recovering, and get this, reverse engineering UAP technologies.
So they're not just watching them, they're trying to figure out how they work.
Exactly.
Wow. And what kind of things are they documenting in this program?
I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
We're talking about orbs surrounding and forcing an F-22 out of its patrol area.
Oh, wow.
A small orange-red sphere making a rapid descent near the flight deck of an aircraft carrier.
I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a movie.
Right.
Okay, but they wouldn't be making all this up, would they?
It does seem pretty far out, I know, but we're
Yeah.
talking about, like, official documentation here.
Okay.
And there's more. There's a 13-minute video filmed from a helicopter showing a white orb UAP emerging from the ocean off the coast of Kuwait.
Okay, that's hard to deny. A 13-minute video. Someone must have seen that.
Right. Like, this program, if it truly exists, paints a very different picture than what we've been told. Like, the government isn't just passively observing UAPs, they're actively trying to understand them.
And potentially replicate their technology.
Exactly.
Which raises a whole bunch of new questions.
It sure does. Like, are they justified in keeping these discoveries a secret?
Right. What are their intentions with all this?
It's like a giant puzzle, and we're only seeing, like, a few of the pieces.
A few very intriguing pieces, I might add.
It really makes you wonder, what else is out there? What else are they not telling us?
Okay, I think I need a minute to process all of this.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is. We've got credible witnesses, secret programs, vanishing videos, and the possibility of reverse-engineered alien tech.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
This is getting really interesting.
It really is. And we haven't even gotten to NASA's potential role in all of this.
Oh, right. NASA. I almost forgot.
I know, right? There's
Yeah.
so much to unpack here.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think the first step is to acknowledge that the conversation about UAPs is changing.
It's evolving.
Yeah.
We're moving past speculation and into serious investigation.
Right. Like, the evidence is becoming harder and harder to ignore.
And with each new piece of evidence, each new revelation, the mystery just keeps getting deeper. It's a time of great uncertainty. But you know what? It's also a time of incredible potential.
You're right. It's like we're on the verge of discoveries that could reshape our understanding of, well, everything.
I'm excited to see where this all leads.
Me too. This is just the beginning, folks.
It really does feel like we're at a crossroads. You know?
Yeah.
Like, for years, discussions about UFOs, those were relegated to, like, the fringes of public discourse, you know?
Right.
But now it's being discussed openly in Congress.
I know, it's crazy.
It's a sign that, like, the times are changing. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it's not just anecdotal evidence anymore.
Right.
We're seeing more and more, like, visual data being released. And a lot of it is coming from, like, credible sources, you know?
Yeah.
Like military pilots, government agencies.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, remember that image? They nicknamed it the button,
Oh, yeah.
the one that was captured by satellite imagery.
Yeah. That's a great example.
I mean, you can't really deny that, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's a clear image, it's detailed, you know, and it was captured by, like, a sophisticated piece of technology.
It's hard to just brush that off, you know?
Right? Like, you can't just say, oh, it's a weather balloon.
Or a lens flare.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really makes you wonder, what else is out there, like, hidden away in some government file, just, like, waiting to be brought to light?
Oh, there's got to be more.
Right.
And it's not just images, it's
Right.
the stories, too, right? The firsthand accounts from, you know, highly trained observers, like those pilots who talked about orbs forcing an F-22 out at its patrol area, or that sphere appearing out of nowhere above an aircraft carrier.
Yeah. Those are chilling accounts, you know?
They really are.
And they're coming from people who, like, we generally trust, right?
Right.
For their reliability and observational skills.
Exactly. I mean, they're trained to notice these things.
Yeah.
It really adds another layer of complexity to this whole phenomenon, you know?
It does.
Yeah.
And it leads to a pretty big question.
Which is,
What is the government's real agenda here? Why all the secrecy? Why are they seemingly so reluctant to share this information with the public? Like, what are they hiding? Are they trying to protect us from something?
or protect themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a question that's been around forever.
I know.
Like, for decades.
Right.
There are all these theories, you know, about the government trying to control the narrative,
Right.
like to prevent mass panic or to maintain a technological advantage over other nations.
Imagine, like, if it was officially confirmed that, like, we are not alone, that there are other civilizations out there that have technology that's, like, way beyond our own.
I know. Could you imagine the chaos?
the global disruption, it would change everything. It would change everything about how we see ourselves,
Yeah.
like our place in the universe, everything.
Would challenge our understanding of science, religion.
Everything.
It'd be huge, huge. And it's totally understandable. I mean, you can kind of see why governments might hesitate to, like, open that Pandora's box.
Right.
Like, who knows what would happen?
But then there's, like, the other side of that, right?
Right.
What if they're not just trying to protect us?
Yeah.
What if they're trying to protect themselves? Like, what if they've actually recovered, like, crashed UAPs and are, like, trying to reverse engineer that technology for their own purposes?
Right.
Like, that's where things get really, really interesting.
And we did hear testimony in this hearing, right?
Yes. That lends credence to this theory.
Yeah.
Like, remember, Lou Elizondo,
Yeah.
he explicitly stated that the U.S. government is in possession of UAP technologies.
Wow.
And then there are those whistleblower claims about Immaculate Constellation, right?
Yeah.
The program that's supposedly dedicated to studying and possibly replicating UAP technology.
All right.
So if that's true, if they are in possession of this technology, that raises a whole new set of, like, ethical and moral dilemmas.
Right. Like, who gets to decide what to do with that technology?
Exactly. Are they justified in, like, keeping these groundbreaking discoveries secret from the rest of the world?
It's a tough one.
What are their intentions?
It's scary to think about, honestly.
I know, it's like this tangled web of possibilities, right?
It is. And it's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew.
Totally. Like, are we on the cusp of some technological revelation?
Right. Or is this like a really bad sci-fi movie?
Right, where knowledge is hoarded and weaponized.
It's wild to think about.
I know. It really is.
It's a lot to process.
It is. It's a lot.
And this is just like scratching the surface, you know?
Exactly.
Like, this deep dive is about so much more than just identifying some weird object in the sky,
Right.
you know? It's about, like, confronting those fundamental mysteries.
Of our existence.
Yeah.
Like, are we alone?
Like, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
It's about questioning our assumptions about, like, reality itself, you know?
It is. And I think it's about, like, demanding transparency from, like, those in power, right? Like, we need to know what they know.
Yeah.
So that we can all collectively navigate this uncharted territory.
Yes.
Like, we can't just sit back and let the government dictate the narrative anymore.
We can't.
Like, we need to be engaged in critical thinking, analyze the available evidence, and demand answers.
And this isn't about, like, conspiracy theories or just blindly believing things, right?
Right.
It's about approaching this whole thing with, you know, a healthy amount of skepticism, but also a thirst for knowledge.
Right. Like, be curious, but also be critical.
Exactly.
And maybe, just maybe, if we can, like, shed some light on this mystery, we can take a step closer to understanding our place in, the grand tapestry of the cosmos.
It's a journey.
Hey,
It's a journey of discovery, and we're all on it together.
I love that.
Anyway.
All right. So in this hearing, they also talked about the stigma that's often associated with UAP research, especially within the scientific community.
Right. Like, you can't talk about UFOs without people thinking you're a little crazy.
I know. It's true. But that stigma really came to the forefront when Michael Gold testified.
Michael Gold.
Yeah, he's a former NASA official and a member of the NASA UAP independent study team.
Oh, okay.
And he talked about the challenges that scientists face if they're interested in studying UAPs, like the fear of ridicule,
Oh, yeah. I bet.
threats to their careers, a general resistance from the scientific establishment to even, like, acknowledge the possibility of something beyond what we currently understand.
It's sad, really.
It is.
Like, there's this fear, you know, that if you touch this topic, you'll lose all credibility.
Totally. But Gold actually suggested that NASA, NASA, with its, stellar reputation for scientific rigor and public trust,
Right.
could play a crucial role in, like, breaking down that stigma.
I mean, that would be huge. If NASA came out and said, hey, this is worth
It
studying.
would totally legitimize the field. It would encourage, like, open scientific inquiry.
I could totally see that happening.
And think about it. NASA has access to, like, tons of data,
They do.
have vast archives of data.
Right. From all their missions and satellites.
Exactly. And that data could contain, like, valuable information about UAPs.
Makes you wonder what they've already seen.
I know. And they could act as, like, a central repository for all these UAP reports.
A clearinghouse for, like, all the sightings and data.
Not just from military and government sources, but also from civilian pilots, air traffic controllers, everyday people who've seen something strange in the sky.
That would be amazing.
It'd be a game changer, like finally treating this topic with the seriousness it deserves. you know?
Totally. Finally moving past the secrecy and the skepticism.
Right.
Okay, but now I'm thinking, NASA UAP research, that brings up another really interesting point.
What's that?
What about the possibility of, like, actually encountering a civilization that's, more advanced than us?
That's like the ultimate question, isn't it?
It is. It's like the question that keeps me up at night.
I know. And it's been like pondered by philosophers and science fiction writers forever.
Forever.
But it feels like with all this increasing evidence of UAPs, that question is becoming less hypothetical, you know?
I know. Like, what if it's not a question of if, but when?
Exactly. Like, what would it mean for humanity if we were to make contact?
Mm.
Would it be peaceful?
Right.
Would they share their knowledge and technology?
Or would it be like War of the Worlds?
Right. Or something even more complicated, you know?
We have no idea.
We just don't know. And it's not just about, like, the dangers or the benefits.
Right.
It's like, what are the philosophical implications, you know?
I know. Like, how would it change our understanding of ourselves, our place in the universe?
Would it, like, challenge our beliefs?
Our religion.
A sense of identity?
It's a lot.
I know, it really is.
It's a humbling thought,
It is humbling.
to think that we might not be the only intelligent life in this vast, vast cosmos.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
It is. And I think it should make us more curious,
Just it.
more open to exploring the unknown
Definitely.
and, like, expanding our horizons.
Totally.
It's a reminder that we're part of something so much bigger than ourselves, you know?
Yes.
Something that we're only, like, just beginning to grasp.
We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important takeaway from all of this.
What is that?
That studying UAPs, it's not just about identifying these objects or, like, reverse engineering technology.
It's about so much more than that.
It's about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, challenging our assumptions, and embracing the mystery and wonder of the universe.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about fostering a sense of, like, curiosity.
Yes. And being open-minded.
Being open to the possibility that, like, there's more to reality than we even know.
Totally. Like, it's about, being okay with not knowing everything.
Right.
And being willing to, like, question what we think we know and be open to the possibility of something truly extraordinary.
Well said.
Thanks.
It's amazing to think about how, like, ingrained UFOs and UAPs are in our culture now.
Oh, totally. Like, it's everywhere you look.
I know. It's, like, woven into our movies and books and, like, even art,
Absolutely.
For decades, we've been, like, captivated by these images of flying saucers and, alien encounters and, like, those mysterious lights in the sky.
Yeah. So we have this, like, innate fascination with the idea of life beyond Earth. You know what I mean?
Totally. Like, this deep-seated need to know if we're alone in this, like, vast universe.
Exactly.
And it's so interesting to see how, like, the whole narrative surrounding UAPs has, like, shifted over time.
Oh, for sure.
Like, remember when UFO sightings were, like, totally dismissed?
Oh, yeah. Like they were just hoaxes or hallucinations.
Yeah. But now, like, governments are openly acknowledging it.
I know. It's crazy.
And even dedicating, like, resources to investigate it.
Yeah. It's a pretty big shift.
It's huge. And it brings up all these new questions.
There's so many questions.
Like, what if some of these UAPs really are, like, advanced tech from other civilizations,
Right. Like, what does that mean for us?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
how would that impact our understanding of, like, science and technology?
Our place in the universe.
Everything.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It really is.
And there are no easy answers.
Not yet, anyway.
But that's what makes this whole topic so compelling, right?
Oh, totally. We're dealing with the unknown here.
Yeah, the potential for discoveries that could, like, completely change our understanding of reality.
It's pretty humbling when you think about it.
It is.
Like, for centuries, we've been looking up at the stars and wondering if we're alone.
Right.
And now, like, with all this evidence of UAPs,
It's getting harder to ignore.
it's like, oh, wow, maybe we're not alone after all.
Right.
And that realization, I mean, it comes with a mix of, like, excitement and fear,
Oh, for sure.
Like, we don't know what to expect.
We have no idea what the implications might be.
But think about the possibilities,
Okay, yeah.
Like, imagine if contact with an advanced civilization led to, like, incredible technological advancements.
Right, like solutions to, climate change or poverty or disease.
Yeah. Or a deeper understanding of, like, the universe and how it all works.
That'd be amazing.
But it could also come with risks, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
challenges that we're just not ready for.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword.
It is. So we need to, like, approach this whole thing carefully.
With curiosity, but also caution.
Yeah. with like a healthy amount of skepticism, but also an open mind.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from all this,
What's that?
that studying UAPs isn't just about like identifying these objects in the sky.
Right.
It's about like expanding our horizons,
Challenging our assumptions.
being open to the possibility that like there's more to reality than we currently understand.
I like that.
It's about embracing like the mystery,
The wonder.
the endless possibilities that are out there.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. It's a little scary, but mostly exciting.
Mostly exciting.
Well, that's our deep dive into the world of UFOs and UAPs.
It's been a wild ride.
We've covered like everything from eyewitness accounts and government secrecy to the potential implications of, encountering advanced extraterrestrial civilizations.
It's a lot.
It is, but I think what's clear is that like this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As more evidence emerges, as scientists, dig deeper into this phenomenon,
It's only going to get more interesting.
I know. We can expect, like, even more fascinating discoveries and insights in the years to come.
I can't wait.
Me neither. It's a really exciting time to be alive, Like, we're pushing the boundaries of our knowledge further than ever before.
And who knows what we'll find.
Exactly. So, to everyone listening, keep looking up, keep questioning, and never lose that sense of wonder.
The truth is out there.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.